Welcome back to Sissy Maya. Make sure to subscribe to our channel to never miss an update. Additionally, consider subscribing to my Patreon to get access to these features, and much more. I remember the day I decided to follow my whim. It was 5 years ago at the beginning of summer. I sat in the living room, watching television while my mother and her best friend chatted in the dining room. I tried to listen closely because their conversations often revealed something new about people I knew. I enjoy having him around, but I would have been happier with a daughter. You know, Peggy, he's just about the right age to start on female hormones. You could have your daughter. Well, Jenny, I've thought about it, but it doesn't feel right for a mother to turn her son into a girl. I was shocked by what I had heard. Mom's best friend was suggesting turning me into a girl. The idea that my mom had considered it wasn't comforting either. At 10 years old, I knew little about being a girl. I was a homebody who loved reading and learning. I wasn't aggressive or messy. I helped around the house by dusting and keeping things neat. My room was well kept, filled with stuffed animals that mothers would proudly show off to their sons. While I wasn't into models, I adored stuffed animals. Mom was hesitant at first about indulging me, but after seeing my puppy dog eyes, she gave in. I had a collection of bears dressed in pastel-colored outfits neatly arranged on my bed. My bed had a pastel bedspread over a yellow blanket and sheets. Peggy, didn't you mention that he likes stuffed animals, especially those dressed as females? Yes, but it's not uncommon for boys to like some of the same things as girls. Start gradually, buy him pastel-colored panties and camisoles instead of t-shirts. Tell him since he likes soft colors, you thought he wouldn't mind. Ease him into wanting to be a girl. I've already started planning to help him transition. His room already has things most boys wouldn't have. Mom had already planned for me to become a girl, furnishing my room with a vanity where my large stuffed bear, dressed in a strawberry shortcake outfit, Saturday. My wallpaper was light blue with scattered flowers, and my carpet was beige. I even had a canopy bed. I hadn't thought much about my room, it was just where I lived, and I was a boy. There was a Halloween costume in my closet matching the big bear's outfit. Last year, I went as strawberry shortcake, and Mom had made the costume, making me look just like the character. She had also convinced me to read strawberry shortcake books, and I fell in love with them. Maybe he's already used to girl things, and all you need to do is introduce him to dresses and skirts. I hope this version meets your expectations. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like to adjust. Oh, I'm not sure. I don't think he realizes how much his home life already leans towards the feminine. He loves his room and is so meticulous that if he were a girl, it wouldn't seem odd. I pondered how different life would be if I were a girl. I'd be invited to more parties, wear pastel colors, and best of all, I wouldn't have to hear Mrs. Copera nagging me about cutting my hair. She insisted I looked more like a girl than a boy with my long hair, often telling my mom that boys should look like boys. Look, Peggy, your nosy neighbor thinks he's a girl, or at least looks like one. Maybe you could get him to dress up for an afternoon, and if he likes it, encourage him to do it more often. I don't want to force him into a dress, that wouldn't be right. Then just ask him. I think your son would do whatever you asked without thinking it's wrong. We're talking about changing a young boy's life here. I don't think it'll be such a big change. Remember, you had him dress as strawberry shortcake last Halloween. But that was just a costume, not a lifestyle. Tell me, did he enjoy it, or did you have to persuade him into it? He actually enjoyed it. He liked having his hair done up and the way the dress swished. As I sat there, contemplating their conversation, I wondered if I could actually be a girl. I knew Mom sewed dresses for my cousins, and I thought maybe I could try one on, find the shoes from the costume, and tease our neighbor by telling her I was already a girl and Mom had mistaken me for a boy. With my plan in mind, I went to the sewing room. There, I found a dress made of chiffon and satin, pastel yellow with a long satin sash. I saw matching shoes, a slip, and panties. I undressed and tried on the dress. I remembered how, when I wore the costume,
I wanted to tell Mom how much I liked being dressed as a girl. I put on the panties and slip, picked up the shoes, each with anklets inside, put them on, and slipped the dress over my head. As it slid down, I shivered. Something inside me felt certain this was right. I was convinced I'd be happier as a girl, though I couldn't explain why. Sitting down, I put on the shoes, then stood and hugged the dress, feeling it was meant for me. I lifted it, maneuvered through the taffeta and crinoline, and as the dress settled into place, I heard the rustle of the fabric, sending another shiver down my spine. I didn't remember screaming with joy, but by the time the dress was on, both Mom and Jenny were in the sewing room. I stood before them, and all I could ask my mom was, "Will you button me up and tie the sash? Let me know if there's anything else you'd like to adjust." "Peggy, I think you already know your answer." "Yes, Jenny, I believe I do." Mom walked over and did just that. She smiled at me and said I needed 2 barrettes and then I would be ready for whatever occasion I was dressing up for. Jenny looked at me and remarked that since I willingly dressed in girls' attire, she was certain I was well on my way to becoming the daughter Mom wanted. Mom gave Jenny a stern look and said she wasn't ready to discuss that right now. "Mom, Miss Jenny is right. I do want to be a girl. I want to make you happy." "Kelly, are you absolutely sure this is what you want? It has to be your decision for it to be right. Ever since last Halloween when I wore the strawberry shortcake costume, I've been okay with this. Mom, when you had me try on that costume dress, I liked wearing it. I was scared you'd be mad and tell me never to mention it again." Tears streamed down my face as I spoke. Mom handed me a tissue and gently dried my tears. "Kelly," she said, "if you want to be my daughter, then that's what we'll do." She added, "But before we can make any decisions, we need to have serious talks. There will be people who might think I'm being unfair. Since neither of you have strong ties to this city, why don't we sell the house and move to another city? Just you and your daughter." Mom suggested we all go out for a nice dinner. Jenny said she'd go home to change and meet us at Green's. I hugged Jenny, and she whispered in my ear, "You're going to be a heartbreaker when you grow up, Missy." Mom smiled and chuckled when she heard Jenny's comment. I sat on the couch, reading a strawberry shortcake book while Mom showered and got ready for dinner. When I finished, I decided to step outside for a moment. I walked over to Mrs. Copera's house and rang her doorbell. She opened the door and looked at me with her crooked smile and yellow teeth. "Whose child are you, and why are you ringing my doorbell?" Her words came out in a whiny screech. "I'm Kelly, the little girl next door. Please don't call me a boy ever again." I turned and walked away from her. "You impudent child. Stay away from my house, or I'll call the police." I returned home and sat on the couch, waiting for Mom to come down. She was wearing a navy blue dress with a V-neck that accentuated her figure. She smiled at me and then walked over to the window. "I saw you over at Mrs. Copera's house. I heard what you said to her and chuckled along with you. I think you've truly made up your mind to be a girl." "Mom, until today, I wasn't sure if this was what I really wanted. But the longer I'm in this dress, the more I want to stay a girl. Kelly, if you ever decide you want to go back to being a boy, just let me know. I know this decision is yours for now, but being a girl isn't just about wearing dresses and skirts." "Mom, I think I understand. As a boy, I don't enjoy sports or rough games. I like pretty colors and things that girls my age like. I prefer being around girls because they're nicer and easier to talk to than boys, who seem too dirty and rough for me. I really hope I can continue being a girl, and if I start now, I hope to stay a girl as I grow older. Kelly, after we finish eating, we'll go shopping for some things for you to sleep and play in. I'll start teaching you about being a girl, starting with hygiene and household responsibilities. As a girl, there will be more things for you to learn and take care of." I walked over and hugged my mom. "Today, we live in another city, and I'm dating a boy who thinks I'm the coolest girl he's ever met. I promised Mom I would listen to her guidance on growing up as a girl, and it's worked out really well. Mom had me start hormones that summer, and I went through puberty like any other girl. I attend an all-girls school and am the captain of the debate team. Joshua attends a boys' school associated with ours and plays football, though he often sits on the bench when I attend the games. Mom's friend Jenny passed away from a brain aneurysm while driving to visit us. She left her insurance to Mom and me with the stipulation that it would pay for my surgery to complete my transition to being a girl. Mom and I spent last summer in Europe, and I returned home fully transitioned. No one here even knows I wasn't born a girl. It's time to go now. Mom and I drive back to Wrightsville every 6 months to place fresh flowers on Jenny's grave.